Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Gracious good morning to you good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do and you know why I do it. It is Friday morning. Just going to enjoy this moment. Can we have a moment for Friday morning? It's 2:08 in the a.m. and it's June 20th. Now, I am sure by now you have all seen or heard about the video of the black woman in North Carolina, Wilson, North Carolina to be exact, and the Synergy Auto Care. It was a find out, finest moment. And I'm going to add my 2 cents to it because I have had the same experience on a couple of occasions. First, I'm going to talk about this sister. That's poetic applause. Baby, you handled your business. You know, I wish you didn't swear in the process, but I still want to say you handled your business in a manner which we all should handle our business. Okay, for those of you who don't know, I suggest you YouTube or TikTok or Google Synergy, North Carolina, Juneteenth. Okay, so the sister sitting in the waiting area, I guess, waiting for something to be done to her car. And the employees are talking amongst themselves. And somebody asked if the banks were going to be closed. And another person heard saying that, yes, it's a holiday, it's Juneteenth. And they made a little joke amongst themselves about what Juneteenth is. Somebody said, whatever, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. And the woman, the Caucasian woman, could clearly be heard saying, I know, right? And it was sarcastic. You know, that, my friends, is what's known as a microaggression. You don't understand it, so you deem it either bad or something absurd. Notice the vocabulary that I'm using. Because you don't understand it, it doesn't apply to you. You have colored it as something else. Okay? Now, there's a lot that we're, and by we're, I mean African Americans, are asked to understand and accept that doesn't apply to us. You know, some of us do it smooth, some of us do it begrudgingly, but the thing is, we do it. So, this black woman hears them snickering about Juneteenth, and rather than, you know, hey, there are people in this waiting area, this is a private conversation amongst ourselves, because we all have biases. I want to say that. We all have biases about something. But I don't air them, you know, out in the open. I don't air them in a workplace. Now, if I'm asked, that's something different. You invited the conversation. And I will tell you. Now, you don't get to be butthurt because I told you. You invited the conversation. So they're talking amongst themselves, and the I know, right, giggle, giggle, upset this black woman to no end. She said, give me my car. Now everybody's looking dumbfounded because they realized, you know, that recording that you hear on some videos, it was at this moment they realized They messed up. The video says something more graphic, but it was at this moment the employees realized they messed up. Now, I'm going to tell you that Synergy doubled down on the madness. They tried to paint this woman as the one that was out of pocket. They released the security video because people were wondering, how did this video get to be posted, Because the woman couldn't film herself, and she didn't set up a tripod and film herself in this. Synergy released their security camera footage. I wonder if the employees know that they're being recorded 24/7. But anywho, that's a whole different thing. They released this footage to try to highlight that the woman was just being unreasonable. And they issued a statement to the fact that the woman was unreasonable. Now, the internet was abuzz about this topic, and every time I saw it, I had to add my 2 cents based on lifelong experience, and I know I'm looking very childlike and young, but I'm headed toward mid-60s. Anywho, so the standard operating procedure that I found in dealing with racism and microaggressions, the moment you call some BS out, and yes, I am using that term, the moment you call that out, you say, hey, this is a microaggression, or hey, this is blatant racism, the people who feel that they're not racist because they're in proximity. Now, there's a magic word that's being used these days, proximity of black folks. Oh, I talked to one black person, that's my friend. You don't know nothing about this person or their life. I had somebody tell me, I feel like I know you well enough. You work with me. Yes, we've had conversations, but you don't know jack about me because you have never asked about me. You've asked my opinion on things. You don't know how I live. You don't know anything about how I walk, how I talk 24/7. Don't say you know me. And I checked that person right then and there. You don't know me. Because you never bothered to ask. That part. You could say, based on what you told me, then we're cool. Okay, but let's get back to the situation. So the moment you call out a microaggression, then we go to a place of fragility. Oh, how dare you? Oh, or you get the salty tears. Now I'm the victim. You're just being hateful and aggressive, and you were the spark that started this fire. But now you're going to retreat to the safe, dare I say, majority position. Yeah, that part. And this mean old black person called me on my stuff. How dare you? Because the line from The Color Purple. I've always been good to you people. Or another line I like to use is from The Heat of the Night with Sidney Poitier. The Negro is like an orchid, delicate, requires special care. The dialogue between Virgil Tibbs and Mr. Endicott in the Hot House. Yeah, that part. So you need to watch these classic movies in order to get the subtleties. The woman did the right thing. And if you can't respect me, Why would I patronize you? I can take my dollars to someplace that's going to respect my spending power, that's going to respect who I am as a person, that's going to treat me as a person of value, not have a conversation about me in front of me and belittle, that part. And then rather than acknowledge, ooh, we messed up, then the place doubles down by releasing a video and a statement trying to paint this woman as being unreasonable. Okay, now my experience was I went to a dealership. Now, up until this point, I have always driven a Chevy as homage to my grandfather. Okay? My grandfather used to say, he didn't even say Chevy, he said Chevy. Chevy is the best car. Now, my grandfather worked in a steel mill, and most of my folks either worked in the steel mill or worked in the auto industry back in its heyday. When Detroit was booming, we had Chevy, we had auto parts manufacturers. My father worked for Chevy, he worked for Trico, so it's just like some form of the auto industry. It's my family history. That's what put food on the table. So I was at a local dealership, and the sister, his Latina sister, was working really hard at finding a car, one that I could afford or that I was comfortable with. And I test drove every kind of small vehicle on the lot because I was looking to downsize, but I was looking at the best bang for my buck and, best value for gas, because gas here is like $5 a gallon. A little over $5. But $5 right now is the lowest that it's been in a very long time. So I was looking around, and then as I settled on something that was okay, it wasn't really what I wanted, and I'm going to tell you why I settled. And it was because of the sister, and her hard work. But as I'm sitting there really talking about things and waiting for things to unfold, because the dealership is an all-day process, if you guys don't know. And I will negotiate till the cows come home to get the best price. So, I'm the type of person that will pack a lunch and haggle. So I'm in there, and I hear in an office two guys talking. I guess one worked in the auto shop, and the other one I later found out was a salesperson, a sales manager. I hear them talking as I'm sitting and waiting, and I overheard somebody say, and then my father would ask why I was listening to this jigaboo music. And before I knew it, I was in that man's office confronting him, telling him, I heard what you said. I don't appreciate it. You didn't know I was sitting out here, so you should watch your mouth. Then I walked out of that man's office, and I asked to see the manager. The manager finished up his phone call because I was watching him the entire time, and he couldn't figure out why I wanted to see him. First he hesitated. I watched the whole thing unfold. First he hesitated. Then he comes out, and he tried to rationalize what this man said in the workplace setting. And this man said to me, oh, I know him. He doesn't have a racist bone in his body. First of all, where the hell is the racist bone? Because I hear that a lot. And why are your bones racist? Because I heard what came out of your mouth. And I'm confusing that with another part of your anatomy at this point. You know, because you're talking out of your hinder parts. But I said, I don't care whether he has a racist bone in his body or not. What I care about was he didn't know I was sitting out here in that place. That word should never be used in a workplace setting, period, dot. Because again, you never know who's sitting around. But you felt comfortable enough, because it lets me know the culture of your workplace. You felt comfortable enough to say that. You know, I said, I don't want any dealings with that man. If he's a sales manager, somebody else better handle my business. And I bought a small car because a Latina was showing me the ropes. And this poor child didn't know. She was so young that she never even heard the word jigaboo. So she didn't know. So I explained to her what that meant. Yeah. So I understand the synergy, lady. And when I got home, I contacted the owner of the dealership. I contacted the corporate office. I contacted Chevy because I was done. I don't own a Chevy anymore. Now, I didn't hold on to the car that I bought from the sister. I think I drove that car for maybe 2 years. Then I traded it in. And I bought another make and model. And the make and model that I bought, the dealership is owned or managed by the same individual under this GM umbrella. But a whole different operation as far as personnel. Now, my salesperson was either Russian or some other Eastern Bloc country. But he was a professional. And I respect business is business. Amen. I respect that my dollars were valued. I respected the fact that he saw my dollars of value to him and worked to get me in a decent vehicle. So, sis, again, I applaud you with the poetic applause for the artistry of handling your business. Black women are the most highly educated population in this country. And as a result, are economic force to be reckoned with. Now, you may hold on to your old values, but just know that it's going to cost you something if you do. Just ask Target.